Welcome to Fantasy and Enchantment, where I describe fantasy books to my husband and see if he is enchanted. My name is Sarah.
And I'm Justin.
We are back.
Yay, we're back. It's a new year. We haven't actually recorded anything this year yet.
Yep, so...
We're doing the thing.
We're doing
what
it.
is today?
The
5th? The 4th?
The 4th.
The 4th. Okay. America's favorite holiday is coming up. January 6th.
Oh my god. Get out.
What are you going to do to celebrate at home, guys?
Stop.
Nothing? Okay.
Stop it.
Okay. There's actually a real new big wrestling show on January 6th. And they've been trying to avoid saying, January 6th, but it's really hard because it's on January 6th. It's really tough for them. But WWE just signed literally $1 billion deal with Netflix, and their first show is on January 6th. So it's a huge deal, but also it's January 6th.
All right.
It's tough for them. Real tough.
Okay. Anyway,
after that little sidetrack.
we're actually not going to jump straight into When the Moon Hatched. We're going to take a quick detour with the book that you picked out for me.
I did pick this book out. I don't do this very often, but
No.
we did a little...
I think this might have been the first time you did it, was this book.
a tickety-tock, where we went to the bookstore and you let me pick something off of the shelf. I picked this book, partially because I didn't hate the cover, although it is an odd cover. We'll get into that.
It's an odder story, so...
Okay. And I liked that it was shorter, and I felt like if I was going to have to hear about it, at least it was short.
The book in question is Juniper and Thorn by Ava Reid. I found out afterward she's written a couple different books that I've heard of before, but this was just not as well known.
Is this like a multi-part, or is this a whole story contained?
This is a standalone book.
Ah, man, I love that somebody can complete a fucking thought within 2 covers of a book. Jesus Christ. I love this book. It's short, it's contained, it's got an eclectic cover. I am balls deep in on this book.
By the way, content warnings.
Oh, right. I say things like balls deep sometimes.
Yeah, and
Every of the time.
if you haven't read this book, there's going to be spoilers. I mean, it's a weird one. Leave it to you to pick a weird one.
Well, you asked me to pick a book, and I did.
And you did it.
Which brings us to today.
Yes.
We went to Books A Million, which, Books A Million, if you're listening, we know that you are. Shout out.
Yeah.
Also, I'm a little questionable about whether or not there's actually 1 million books in there. I don't think there are. I think they're expanding their numbers a little bit of inflation.
All right.
Anyway, you took our daughter to the bathroom. You had picked out one book.
Uh-huh.
That was $3 because they do have a pretty impressive sale selection at Books A Million. At least 500,000 of their books are on sale. While you were taking our daughter to the bathroom, I wandered through the sale section and found 2 more books. So I picked these out and pointed them out to you and decided that these should also be added to the collection.
Did you read the descriptions at all?
Not entirely.
Okay.
So the first one here is Shadow of the Fox, which was the blank of the blank. So I felt like that's probably in your realm.
Julie Kagawa.
Kagawa?
Kagawa. Yeah.
Kagawa.
I don't know why I thought that was an M.
I want to say I looked in, I very briefly read the descriptions on the inside covers, because these are hardbound books, so they're on the inside cover, not on the back.
Yes.
And I think I saw something about dragons on that, and that seemed cool. And then I flipped to the back and saw that it was the first in a series, so I was like, okay, well, Sarah's not going to get mad that I picked like the 3rd one in the series. I liked that, and I showed it to you, and you were like, okay. The other one is called The Court of Miracles, and you're real into things called courts, so I figured this was in your alley.
All right.
And this is by Kester Grant.
Yes.
Okay. I also like the cover of Shadow of the Fox. It's got a cool,
Fox mask
thing on it. It's reflective. They got me on the cover. The Court of Miracles, less impressive cover. It's very standard of these books.
Yeah.
As I feel the name, the Court of Miracles.
This is apparently a retelling of Les Miserables. I can never pronounce it.
French story.
Yes.
Yeah, you say that like I have any idea what that's about.
They made it into a movie. It was a whole thing.
That I also never saw. Because I'm pretty sure there was singing in it, and that was a hard out for me.
It's a musical.
Yeah, not interested.
Okay.
But I do like how you pulled that up on your little app. I don't know what.
Storygraph.
Okay, your little book app, and you showed it to me, and it was like murder, violence, pedophilia, sexual assault, and you were like, "Ooh, I want this one."
Well, no, I think I made a face, and then I showed it to you, and then I was like, "All right, I guess I'll try it." I mean, I did just recently read a pretty fucked up like duology, so I was like, I guess this is.
Yeah, it seems
my
like
life now.
pretty extreme. I don't recall any of that from the musical, so maybe it's a pretty hard detour from.
I mean, that wasn't it. So Storygraph breaks the trigger warnings into sections like graphic, major, minor.
Okay.
Pedophilia when it was under minor.
Oh, so there's just a little touch of pedophilia.
That it might just be like a mentioning that someone was assaulted as a child, that kind of thing.
Maybe it's just a mention of the Catholic Church.
Maybe.
Boom, roasted.
Okay.
Suck it, Catholic Church. We know what you're doing, diddling the kids.
Are you ready to talk about the book now?
I guess so. Or are we going into the book now?
Yes, we're going in.
Or are we going into the other book you got sitting over there?
For anyone who is not following us on TikTok, 1, why? 2, if you are, you will know that Justin, for Christmas, got me like an AI generated book about myself. Like it's meant to be an autobiography.
It's supposed to be an autobiography
book.
that you wrote based on the information that I gave to the AI about you and your life, which may or may not have been slightly distorted in my perception.
Throughout the next few weeks, we'll go over like little chapters and snippets of the book at the end.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we're going to do that at the end.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Which Books by Anyone is the website for
Okay.
that. We weren't paid by Books by Anyone.
No.
I found it. I thought it was really funny. I made a book. I gave it to her for Christmas. This is not a paid endorsement in any way, shape, or form. If they're horrible people, I don't even know. I just know they make funny books with AI. If you hate AI, I get it. It's going to kill us all and take over the planet. I understand, but in the meantime, I'm going to get some laughs out of it.
Okay.
All right, let's get into this book. What's the name again?
Juniper and Thorn.
Okay.
We're going to start with the description. I'm not going to show you the map this time.
Don't show me a map. You show me the cover again, just as a quick reminder.
Yes, I will show you the cover.
Right.
Do you want to do cover first or description first?
I think we usually do the description first, and then you
Okay.
show me the cover.
Okay. Fair warning, this is set in like industrial Russia, so there's a lot of weird names.
All right. I was going to do a Russian accent there, but I don't think I know how.
Oh, thank God.
I'm going to have to work on it.
You've done a lot of weird accents in
I
the
know,
last few
and
months.
most of them are pretty bad. I'm not great at it, but I'll have to try to think of how I can do a Russian one. You read, and I'll do it in my head.
Great. Great. A gruesome curse. A city in upheaval. A monster with unquenchable appetites. Marlinchin and her 2 sisters lived with their wizard father in a city shifting from magic to industry. As Oblia's last true witches, she and her sisters are little more than a tourist trap as they treat their clients with archaic remedies and beguile them with nostalgic charm. Marlinchin spends her days divining secrets in exchange for rubles and trying to placate her tyrannical, xenophobic father, who keeps his daughters sequestered from the outside world. But at night, Marlinchin and her sisters sneak out to enjoy the city's amenities and revel in its thrills, particularly the recently established ballet theater, where Marlinchin meets a dancer who quickly captures her heart. As Marlinchin's late-night trysts grow more fervent and frequent, so does the threat of her father's rage and magic. And while Oblia flourishes with culture and bustles with enterprise, a monster lurks in its midst, bored of intolerance and resentment, and suffused with old-world power. Caught between history and progress, and blood and desire, Marlinchin must draw upon her own magic to keep her city safe and find her place within it.
If he dies, he dies. That's the only Russian I know. That's
Did it even sound Russian?
yeah. It's Ivan Drago. from the Rocky movies, played by Dolph Lundgren, who was not Russian.
Okay.
He also was He-Man in the
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe movie,
I know.
but not as cool as he was as Ivan Drago. Possibly the best villain of all time, if you don't count Jaws in the Jaws movie.
The shark?
Yeah, the shark. I'm trying to remember what they named him. Oh, it's gonna haunt me that I don't know the name of what the shark was. He didn't have a real name in the movie, but behind the scenes they called him like Kevin or something. It was some really weird name that they had for like the animatronic shark. Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts because I can't remember it. Anyway, let's look at the cover, which I do vaguely remember because I remember the cover being weird, but something about it, I don't know what it is. It reminds me of an album cover or something.
I mean, I don't really get album cover from that. It's very illustrated cover.
I don't know. It's something about the color palette and the way that the text is reminds me of an album, and I can't put my finger on what it is. There's something that is very like reminiscent to me of something else, and I just can't remember it.
And that's going to bother you forever.
Yeah, well, it's been bothering me all day because I knew we were doing this book, and I kind of remembered the cover and the feeling that it gave me, and I can't put my finger on it.
Okay.
Oh well. If he dies, he dies.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Rocky 4. Go watch Rocky 4. It's probably the best of the series. Justin's movie reviews.
You done?
Yeah, for now.
Okay.
We'll come back to Ivan Drago.
Great. So, this girl's name is Marlinchin.
That's a terrible name.
Some kind of weird Russian thing, again.
Is the author Russian?
No, her name is Ava Reid.
So she just was like, oh, fuck it, let's put it in Russia.
Yep.
All right. Seems like a weird choice.
I mean, she might be Russian, but not have the Russian name. I don't know. But she's not obviously Russian.
Right.
Okay. Marlinchin is the youngest of her 3 sisters. Her mother is gone. Her father does magic, and he was cursed by an old witch to never be satisfied. So, like, he's really greedy. He's always hungry. Like, he can never feel full. He can never feel like he has enough of anything.
Okay,
I
so
mean,
is he fat?
every definition of the word.
Is he fat?
Yeah, he's a bigger dude.
Okay. Well, I just would feel like if you're constantly hungry, you'd probably get pretty fat pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like a real illness that some people have where they have to like lock up their food at night and stuff.
1,000-pound sisters?
No, I don't think that was their problem.
They're
actually.
just fat and trash.
Yeah.
God, I love that show.
I know.
I love the Fat Sisters. It's my favorite show. Just a family of garbage.
Okay. Anyway, her and her sisters sneak out one night to go see a ballet show. She hears someone talk about a person being found with his heart and liver ripped out.
Nice. He dies.
Yes, he dies. They watch the show. Marlinchin has a panic attack and runs outside because she's
Ballet freaks her out.
well, it more just because there's so many people around. Because like their dad basically doesn't let them leave their house,
Right.
so she's not used to big crowds. It's almost like agoraphobia.
Okay. I hate people too, so I can relate in a sense.
Okay,
I'm not gonna have a panic attack. I just don't like people.
I know.
Just get grumpy.
Yeah. Okay, so she runs outside. She finds the principal dancer, who's like the main dancer of the ballet.
Right.
He's throwing up. Someone comes outside to get him and says he's just very drunk. Because she's like, is he okay? Does he need a doctor? And he's like, no, he's just very drunk right now.
He's dancing while drunk.
Yes.
He's got a DWD. Dancing while drunk.
Yes. They all go home. Marlinchin wakes up the next morning when a monster crawls out from under her bed. So she's got like a monster that lives under her bed.
Right.
They've got like a goblin that lives in their backyard.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What kind of monster?
It says it's like a serpent thing.
Okay.
Lizard serpent thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Odd decisions to make in a book, but all right.
That'll be important later.
All right.
She makes breakfast for her father every day.
Well, he's hungry all the time. So.
Yes. But then this morning someone comes to the door. It's the dancer she saw last night who was throwing up.
He's done throwing up.
His name is Sebastian.
Okay. It's a relatively normal name.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the Russian version of Sebastian.
Oh, wait, so it's not Sebastian? I just thought you said it weird.
No, there's a V instead of a B.
Sebastian.
Sebastian.
Okay. I thought you said Sebastian and you just said it weird.
No.
All right.
Okay.
I thought you had a stroke or something. I don't know what's going on over there.
I'm 33 years old.
I don't know. I don't know how strokes work. I'm just making things up as I go.
Damn it,
It's a
Dustin.
weird name.
I told you they were going to be weird names.
I thought it was like was that the crab in The Little Mermaid?
Sebastian?
Yeah.
His name was actually Sebastian.
Is that the crab?
Yes.
Okay. It's been a really long time.
Okay.
Also, The Little Mermaid's black now.
Yes.
I don't know when that happened. I missed the boat on that one. I guess so did she, because she's a mermaid, not a boat person. Anyway,
Can we move on?
I guess so.
Sebastian comes in with another man. The man wants Marlinchen to diagnose Sebastian. And this is his handler, quote unquote.
I just assume he's probably gay because he's a ballerina and he's got a male handler.
No.
Okay.
Marlinchen's magic, like, lets her see visions if she touches people, so she's going to touch him to try to diagnose him, quote
Okay.
unquote.
That's a thing.
So she does. She gets a vision of him drinking a bunch. Last night was not a fluke for him.
Yeah.
She says he's not adjusting to the climate well to try to cover for him. And then Sebastian goes with her to get a potion. He says he tried to find her after last night. So, like, she likes him. Now he might also like her.
Right.
Not
And
gay.
he followed her home.
Basically, yeah.
Weird. But Russians are a different breed, so checks out. They also drink a lot, so
Yes.
also checks out. Sounds to me like he's a pretty standard Russian, except for the ballerina part.
Well, I mean, Russian ballet is like a big deal.
Is it?
Yeah, even now.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I learned a thing.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, they leave, and then her father complains about having to take their money because they're basically immigrants and he doesn't like it, and he's racist.
Right. Also checks out for Russians, from what I understand. He's turns out he's from Ukraine and they don't get along real well.
Yeah, that's basically, yeah. So he casts 2 spells on the house. No one from the ballet will come to their house, or they're going to turn into snakes if they try.
Cool. Snake people.
Yep. And then no one can leave the house without a bowl of black sand.
All right. That's an odd. How about just nobody can leave the house?
Well,
End of sentence.
what if they need to get out of the house?
What if they don't have any black sand?
You'll see.
Stupid.
Marlinchen then eats breakfast and makes herself sick, so she's bulimic.
Okay.
Her mother was turned into a white bird, supposedly on accident by her father, but
Doesn't check out.
yeah. They kept her in a cage for a while, but then one day she was just gone.
Cat. Cat got her.
I don't think they have a cat.
No cat?
No cat.
What kind of wizard doesn't have a cat?
This one.
It's a shitty wizard.
Okay.
I feel like that goes hand in hand with like witches and wizards. They get cats.
Okay.
Should be a cat.
Anyway. A couple days later, she takes a bath, and she finds black sand in the drain of the bath.
That's not where that goes.
So she, like, digs it out with her hands and puts it inside a compact, and then goes with her sisters so their dad can give them a potion to test their virginity. This is a thing he does on a regular basis.
Okay.
Makes them,
Make sure they haven't popped their cherries anywhere.
yes.
Which if they're not even able to leave the house, how's he worried that's going on?
Well, up until just a couple days before this, they were kind of able to leave the house.
Okay.
So, Marlinchen shows her middle sister, Rose, the compact. Says she needs to go warn Sebastian the dancer not to come back because if he tries, he's going to turn into snakes.
Right. Snakes plural?
I think so, yeah.
How do you turn into multiple snakes? That's alright. This is a weird book.
I told you.
I like that it's all one contained story, but we're starting out a little
We
rocky.
have not even scratched the surface.
Alright.
Okay. Rose tells her to get rid of the sand when she's done and to be back before 3 a.m. And also don't bring anything back with her. And they
bring
don't.
back any evidence.
Yes.
Right.
And they do not tell their oldest sister that she's going to do this because her oldest sister is kind of a cunt.
Oh, okay.
After their dad goes to bed, Rose gives Marlinchen a tincture for bravery, so just like a potion kind of thing. So she then goes back to the ballet theater. Sebastian finds her and takes her to his dressing room. She tells him about the curse with the snakes.
You're gonna be snakes.
Don't come back.
Don't be snakes.
And then Sebastian is like, wait, let's go see the city. If this is the last night you have to see me, let's go do some things together.
Right.
So they go dance in a tavern, and then they go to the pier. She asks if he's heard about the murders, because there have been multiple at this point. People with their hearts and livers ripped out.
Oh, right.
And then Marlinchen runs home when she realizes how late it is. Sebastian goes with her, but he doesn't come close enough to turn into a snake, so
Can't
he's
be
fine.
snakes.
She gets home just after 3, and then buries the compact with sand in her backyard, so she can find it again if she needs it.
Okay.
She gets cleaned up and starts making breakfast, because at this point it's late enough that,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's gonna be wanting his breakfast soon.
Yeah. And then sees all the food is gone. She tells her dad, and he gets upset. He says his curse is growing, and he knows that she makes herself sick. So,
Is he upset that she's bulimic, or is he upset that she's wasting all of that food?
Yes.
The food?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a real Seinfeld moment. There's a scene in Seinfeld where George is dating a woman and they think that she's bulimic, and he's all upset about it, and Elaine is like, "Oh, well, it's so touching that you're so concerned that she's throwing up this food that you're taking around for." And he goes, "I'm paying for that food. I'm wasting my money." So he's just mad that he's taking this woman out to dinner, and she keeps going to the bathroom and throwing it up. And he's like, "I don't have to pay for this." Classic George.
That's kind of awful.
That the whole show is about how they're all terrible people.
Okay.
That's the whole concept of the show.
Okay. Her sisters then come downstairs. The father says they are all out of food and money.
Got no dollars.
Rose suggests selling some things from their house, and after a while he eventually agrees. Because they've got a bunch of weird wizard shit all
How
over
does
the
a
house.
wizard go broke? Is everybody a wizard?
No, so he's like the last wizard in Olea.
Then how do you run out of money?
Because he's bad with their money.
You gotta be pretty fucking terrible as a wizard to be running out of money.
Yes. He takes down all the spells guarding their house. People start coming in, and the broker asks about the bracelet Marlinchen is wearing. It was her mother's, and then he buys it from her while she cries. So, like, she doesn't want to give it out, but her dad basically makes her.
Well, her mom's a bird now anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, her mom's dead now.
Oh, is she officially dead, or is she just...
They're presumed dead.
Okay.
So, they don't sell more of her mother's things. She offers to cook the monster under her bed. And she's because she doesn't want more of these things to be gone. So she's like, wait, Dad, no. We'll eat the monster. You'll be fine.
Is monster safe for eating?
I guess so, because she does it.
All right.
That was the only reason I mentioned the monster in the first place.
Because you cooked the monster.
Because she cooked the monster, and then her father gives her a drink afterward. He's like, "Oh, you look thirsty, have this." I wonder if that's going to be important later.
Yeah, that seemed pretty unnecessary thing to say. It's not going to be important later.
She makes breakfast in the morning, and then sees a man standing in front of their gate. The man says his friend is sick, and he's one of Marlinchen's clients, who's like been to see her before. So they go into the city and find the apartment. Sebastian is there with this guy. Coincidence. The guy is laying in bed. She uses her magic to see that he drank bad water. So it's not contagious, but
Poop water.
yeah, basically.
Don't drink the poop water.
Don't drink the poop water.
Don't drink the water in general. Fish fuck in it.
Yes.
Continue.
Okay. I was going to. And then someone knocks on the door. It's Sebastian's handler. He says Sebastian is late for practice. Marlinchen helps the sick man, and her father keeps increasing the price of her services. And these guys are basically living in slums. So
They don't have the money anyway.
they don't have the money.
Right.
And then Sebastian offers to pay all of it just to get him to shut up and leave him alone. And then his handler, just out of nowhere, says that he doesn't want to see Marlinchin at the ballet again.
Whoops.
Yeah, because up till then,
Daddy didn't know that.
Daddy
was going
didn't
on.
know.
Right.
So they go back home, and her father demands to know how they broke his spell, because he thinks he doesn't know exactly when it happens.
Right.
He decides all of them need to be married. He's going to get rid of them all by marrying them off.
Okay.
Rose tells Marlinchin how selfish it was for her to go see this guy that she liked and warn him. And then her older sister, Undine, smacks her. Like I said, she's a cunt.
Yep.
She calls her stupid. Their father says he's going to have a contest to pick someone to inherit the house and marry one of them. In order to win, the man is going to have to tell him how the girls escaped his spell. It was just the one girl.
Right. Also, not an overreaction at all for him to be like, that's it, I'm marrying all of you guys off, I'm done.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
He does a lot of overreacting.
Yeah. Well, he turned their mom into a bird.
Yes.
Your mother was a bird and your father reeks of elderberries.
I'm pretty sure that was Monty Python.
Yep.
Okay.
Except it was, your mother was a hamster.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Close enough.
Marlinchin goes to her room and cries, and then sees her mother's bracelet on her dresser, which they just sold
Yeah,
a couple
that
days
came
ago.
back.
Yep. She goes to her father's room and starts tearing through his clothes.
Turns out it's a boomerang bracelet.
It's not a boomerang bracelet.
Okay.
She finds a card from the broker in her dad's pants. And then 3 men come to the house. One of them is a doctor Marlinchin has seen before. The doctor had molested her on multiple occasions
Oh,
and paid her father to let him do it.
nice. Who was that? Coach at the college? Who
Oh,
was,
Michigan State.
Was that what that was?
Yeah, Larry something.
Who was touching the girls in the
Yeah.
gymnastics department?
Yeah,
or something?
except
Yeah.
those parents didn't really know that was happening.
Yeah, but the coach did.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. There was some kitty diddling going on.
Yeah. I mean, he's never getting out of jail.
Well, good.
Yeah. More men show up. One of them has a newspaper. It says the broker who brought her tried to buy that bracelet the other day.
Right.
He's dead now.
Good.
Marlinchin finally stands up to her father. She runs outside to dig up the compact and then runs down the street because she's got the sand so she can just
Run away.
leave.
Bye.
She ends up at the theater. Sebastian sees her and then leaves in the middle of his dance, like he jumps down from the stage and they just run off.
Okay. Just dances right off the stage. Dances out the door.
I don't think he dances out the door.
Flutters his toes right on out the door.
What?
I don't know. Whatever the fuck they do.
Okay, I don't think that's that.
No, I don't know. I've never been to the ballet. I don't know what they're doing there.
Okay.
Running around in tight pants. Package on display, no doubt.
I think it's literally tights,
Yeah.
not tight pants.
Whatever.
Tights.
Whatever.
Okay. Anyway, his friend drags them into another room. And then his handler comes in and tells Marlinchin to leave. But Sebastian says no. And then Sebastian gets mad and he breaks a mirror. The handler leaves. And then,
7 years of bad luck.
well, maybe. Sebastian and Marlinchin then have sex on the floor
Doing it on the floor.
with all the broken glass.
Oh! Alright, that's not the greatest of ideas.
Nope, not a great first time.
Do they not have like a couch or bed or chair or
I guess,
anything elevated off of the floor? It's just an empty room with broken glass. And they're like, this is a perfect spot.
I guess so.
Cool.
Okay. In the morning, Marlinchin says she needs to go home. She's worried her father will find out what they did because he's been giving her that potion to...
Right. Why does she want to go back anyway? Why doesn't she just say, look, obviously you've got money. I live with you now.
She does feel obligated to her dad still at this point.
Okay.
And then Sebastian says he's going to enter her father's contest to try to win her
Right.
hand. She tells him about the black sand so that he knows the answer to the quote-unquote riddle. And then says her mother had a mirror that never lies. Sebastian is worried that her father will be nice to her and then Marlinchin will never leave. He says any predator can choose to smile without teeth. I'm afraid your father would choose to treat you tenderly if you return, and then I will never be able to get his teeth out of you. So that's the thing that abusers do.
Right.
They go to leave the theater and then realize that, like, the police are there. They found a dead man in the rafters of the theater.
Oh, that's not where that goes.
His eyes have been gouged out.
If he dies, he dies.
Yeah. Okay. They go to her house. She apologizes to her father and says she'll never leave again. And then she goes to the kitchen.
My bad, I just wanted to go fuck this ballerina.
Yes. Ballerino?
Ballerino?
Maybe? I don't know.
I don't know, I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, me neither.
Let's assume it's ballerino.
Okay. Sebastian follows her and says they need to steal the mirror as soon as possible. So that's their plan. They're going to steal this mirror and sell it and then use that money.
Where he's gonna steal the mirror, they're gonna break it, and they're gonna fuck on the glass.
Okay.
That's a thing. That's what he's into.
But while they're in the kitchen, Marlinchin finds a rib bone. That seems ominous.
Yeah, why is there... Is it a people rib bone? Just a random rib bone? Is it left over from the monster they ate? Okay.
I mean, I know.
Yeah, you're like, I don't know. Hey, you fucking dude, you read the book. Goddamn liar.
And then she realizes one of the men is missing. Because there were a bunch of guys in the house.
Bunch of dudes just hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, trying to win their hands
Right.
to marry. Her father gives her a drink again. In the morning, she goes outside to pick plums and finds Undine, her oldest sister, fucking the garden gnome monster.
Wait a minute. I need to know more about the garden gnome monster.
He's basically like a little person, but with like a weird shaped head.
So she's fucking a midget. You can say midget. It's fine. I went to midget wrestling. They actually insisted on being called midgets. It was the first thing they came out and said. They said, do not call us little people. Do not call us dwarves. We are fucking midgets. Call us midgets. It's midget wrestling. So,
I'm not going to do that.
Okay to say midget. Anyway, she's fucking a midget in the backyard.
Yep.
Who just lives there like he's their pet.
Yeah, his name is Indrik, and he considers himself to be one of the old gods, and he's just living in their house now.
Okay. Does he have a regular sized penis or a midget penis?
Penis was never described.
They don't get into the...
No, they don't.
Because I feel like it'd be really awkward if he was a midget and he had like a full blown like 8-inch hog. Just seems like it'd be on the ground. They have short little legs.
Yes.
He'd look like Barry Wood. You know who Barry Wood is? That meme that was really popular during COVID. The big black guy who was sitting on the edge of the bed. He had a giant dick.
I never saw that.
How did you not see Barry Wood?
I think our meme tastes are very different.
He was everywhere.
I don't remember that.
He was a giant. He was a real big black man. He was a porn star. He's this huge black guy. He was sitting on the edge of the bed, and he's sitting like this, and his dick is like down to his ankles. It's just huge. It was a big meme that, like, people were putting different people's face on it. People were putting different people's faces on his dick. It was a real big thing during COVID.
Okay.
Him and Harambe really took off during COVID.
Anyway. Can we move on?
I'm still very interested in the midget penis and the sister fucking the midget. Yep. But I guess we'll move on because you're not going to give me any more answers.
I don't have any more answers.
I wish they would have gone deeper into that.
Okay.
That is strike one on this book.
All right. Undine calls Marlinchin stupid for believing that their dad's potion actually tests them like their virginity or whatever.
So she's been fucking the midget for a hot minute.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time.
No.
Got it.
She also says that Rose fucks some of her clients, like, in the shed. So, Marlinchin is the only one who's believed her father. So far,
we fucked in the backyard. We fucked on broken glass in the middle of the floor. And we're fucking in a shed.
Yes.
Awesome. Russia's a cool place.
Marlinchin hits her and then runs away. She runs into Sebastian, and then gets a really bad headache. So he takes her to her room and then leaves to find Rose, because Rose can like make medicines and heal people and stuff. Marlene wakes up later and then runs outside. Sebastian's handler is there. They find Undine's body in the backyard. So Undine is now dead.
Okay.
Her oldest sister.
Is it from the midget sex?
No.
No. Okay.
There's the doctor, the one who molested her, he's still there.
Okay.
He says a mortal man could not have made the wounds that killed her. Because she's like just torn to shreds.
All right.
The handler says he's going to call the Grand Inspector, which is basically like the sheriff.
Grand Inspector.
It's a Russian thing.
I'm the Grand Inspector.
All right.
I don't know why he's kind of British, but
In Russia.
I'm not good at Russian. So
Yeah.
if he dies, he dies.
Okay. That's all I'm going to say. All the men who were there to win this contest start leaving.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of weird shit going on in this house, so
Yep.
I'm getting the fuck out of here.
But then, in order to keep them there, her father turns the fence into snakes so that they can't go. So if they get too close, the snakes start trying to bite them and
Right.
stuff.
It's a snake fence.
Yes. Merlinchen and Sebastian talk about the dead man in the theater. She says only something with wings could have put him up there. And then she thinks her father is a monster and that he's killing and eating people because he's always hungry.
Right. Checks out.
So she decides to ask him about it. So she finds her.
If you ask a monster who eats people, hey, you're not a monster who eats people, are you? Of course he's gonna be like, oh, no, of course I don't eat people.
Actually, we got our daughter a book for Christmas. I think when my parents were here for Thanksgiving, really, but it's about a monster who keeps saying, "No, I don't eat children," and then the children keep disappearing. So she thinks it's really funny
Of course she does. Our kid is as twisted as I am.
because at the end of the book, one of the kids eats the monster.
We don't just read her like horrible monster books. We also read her Pete the Cat.
Yes.
She really likes Pete the Cat.
Yes, we read Pete the Cat tonight.
Yeah, she's really into Pete the Cat. So we don't just read her really fucked up shit. Promise.
In case anyone is wondering, the book is called I Do Not Eat Children.
Swerve alert, he eats children.
Yep. Okay. All right. So she goes to ask her dad about it.
We'll be doing a book review on I Do Not Eat Children coming soon.
Okay.
We'll do a whole episode on that.
A whole 10-minute long episode.
We'll have our 4-year-old in it.
Okay. She asks about Undine, the man at the theater, and the broker. He says she doesn't want the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, basically.
That's also a Seinfeld thing. George is working on his Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth.
Well, I was going to say, that's not originally a Seinfeld
yeah,
thing.
no, he says that he's working on his Jack Nicholson impression, and he keeps doing it.
Okay. So Marlene runs outside and finds the magic serpent that lives in their backyard.
I thought they ate him.
That was a different serpent thing.
Oh, okay. There's a bunch of stuff living in their house. It's hard to keep track.
Yes. She asks it for the courage to find the truth. And then it says that it's got to give something to her. So, she whips her boob out and lets her breastfeed.
Wait, was she lactating the whole time?
No. I mean, it's more like drinking the blood from her.
It just wanted titty blood specifically?
Yes.
Did it ask for that?
I don't remember specifically.
That's so bizarre.
Yes.
Oh, man, I take back your strike for this book. It's all good now.
It says
even count.
to go to the mirror that doesn't lie. I told you.
Man, I picked a winner. I like it. Titty blood. Let me get some of that titty blood.
Why did you have to say it like that? I hate this. So Sebastian finds her. They both stand in front of this magic mirror that doesn't lie. And then Marlene sees herself with black scales, a forked tongue, and wings. So Marlene is the monster.
She's been the monster the whole time.
Yes. Sebastian still says he still loves her, even though she's a monster.
He's into weird shit.
And then they fuck.
Of course they do. And he goes, let me get some of that tater blood.
Stop it. Marlington goes to the room where Rose keeps her potions, and Rose finds her. And then Marlington realizes Rose has been making the potion to turn her into a monster. So Rose has known the entire time.
Right. She's always been a monster.
That drink that her dad keeps giving her,
Yeah.
that's the thing that's been turning her into a monster.
Oh, okay.
So she wasn't born a monster.
Right.
Marlington makes breakfast in the morning and gives it to her father. She tells him how she left the house. She breaks the riddle and says, like, by all rights, I should be able to marry myself now.
I'll just marry myself. You love it so much, why don't you marry it?
Okay. Rose and Sebastian kill the snake fence so the other men can leave. And then the Grand Inspector knocks on the door.
I'm the Grand Inspector.
Okay. The doctor who molested her starts turning into a monster because she slipped him some of that potion. The inspector starts shooting at him, and then her father starts to turn into a monster. And she also slipped the potion to him. Her father kills Sebastian's handler, who
Yeah,
has
that's fine.
also molested Sebastian in the past.
Oh, okay.
And then
He was into ballerinos.
yes, yes. They kill the doctor while her father eats the handler. And then Marlington finds a knife, but before she can do anything, Sebastian stabs her dad. And then at the end of the story, her and Rose sell the house. They don't want anything to do with it anymore. Rose gets her own apartment. Sebastian quits the ballet. And then her father survived, and he goes on trial for all the murders.
Okay.
The end.
Man, they really tidy it all up at the end.
Yeah.
See, you can do a story in one book. It's so much easier.
I mean,
It gets a little wacky at the end, but it's fine.
you can, but
It just goes off the rails so fast.
I don't know if you could see my face when I was reading this, but I was like, what in the fuck is happening?
Like, I feel like there's so fast in that story that I would have just been like, I'm fucking out on this. This is bananas. The monster under the bed, the midget in the backyard. Like, it's so early in the story where I'm just like, fuck this. I'm done. You read the whole book.
I did.
And it gets even weirder as it goes up.
Yep.
Wow. I like how off the rails that goes.
Okay.
What's her name again? Who wrote this?
Ava Reid.
Great job, Ava. I know you're listening.
Okay.
Home run on this crazy bananas, batshit nuts stuff that you came up with.
I know what you would probably rate it.
That's 10 stars.
What do you think I rated it?
Probably like a 2, because I know you don't even have it anymore. You traded it in.
Well, no. I gave it a 4.
Oh, okay.
4 out of 5. I just recently traded this one in, mostly because I am trying to conserve some space on that bookshelf over there.
It's getting pretty full after Christmas.
And 2, I don't usually keep books unless I know I'm going to want to go back to them.
Right.
And this was interesting,
This is a one-time only kind of deal.
but I'm done with it.
Right. All right.
It was a
That's fair.
wild ride, and now it's over. Fucking bananas.
I'm trying to think of a good movie to compare that to. Like, what's a movie that's like, you should see it, but only once? It's like going to the Grand Canyon. Everybody should see the Grand Canyon, but once. Because any more than that, it's just a fucking hole in the ground. The OK Canyon. You see that thing 6 or 7 times, you get real fucking sick of it.
Okay,
So this book is the Grand Canyon.
I guess so.
Because I couldn't come up with a good movie to compare it to. Also, should we do another Justin's movie reviews?
Sure.
'Cause I got a bunch of movies for Christmas, and I'm really happy about one of them. So I got a movie. It's called Late Night with the Devil. It's like set in the 70s, and it's like a guy who's running a late night talk show up
Oh.
against Johnny Carson. I guess maybe it's in the 80s, 70s, 80s.
It looked 70s.
Yeah, it looks very 70s, but they do specifically mention Johnny Carson, and I don't really remember when Johnny Carson was a big deal. It might be early 80s. Anyway, so he's running this talk show, and it's really well done, and it very much kept my attention throughout the whole movie because it is very interesting how it's filmed and the way it's done, and it moves very quickly, so it's an easy watch, but it's really crazy at the end too. It's kind of like this. It goes off the fucking rails in the last 5 minutes, and I've loved it. Highly recommend Late Night with the Devil. It's actually streaming now too I think on Hulu. I just saw it on there the other day. But I bought the DVD, or I got the DVD for Christmas, so big fan. Late Night with the Devil, Justin's movie reviews. Go watch it.
We're gonna do my book now.
Right, Sarah, the book that I got, that is, you're the book.
I'm the book.
You're the book. Okay.
So, Justin fed a bunch of random information.
I did. My favorite part of
AI.
this was that I got to describe myself as handsome and fun and hilarious, and I ride motorcycles, and yeah, it's just, I just kept going about how ridiculous and witty I am.
Yep.
Did it get into that at all yet?
Not yet.
Not yet?
I know it's coming.
Oh man, I can't wait till you get to the part where it talks about how I'm fantastic.
Only read the first chapter.
Okay.
But there were 6 whole paragraphs dedicated to how much I like coffee.
Yeah, it was really excited when I said you liked coffee. It went nuts with that.
There's also a line in there about being a stay-at-home mother, which I am not.
Nope.
I have never been.
Guess it just made that up.
Just made that up.
Because it also, I told it about your job.
Yeah.
That's going to come up
There's a separate
later.
chapter about my job.
Yep.
Yep. Also said that you specifically have the energy of a pro wrestler.
That's nice. Look at that.
There was a very unrealistic paragraph about me attempting to cook.
Because you attempted to cook?
Hey.
Because that doesn't happen.
Hey.
So that's where it's unrealistic.
Well, it was something about, like, I'm trying to make pasta, and then I was like, Justin, get the salad. And I was like, we don't do salad.
Well, yeah, that's for sure. Also, we don't even make meals together.
No.
I did also tell it that it asked for things you're bad at. And I told it you're bad at cooking and parallel parking. And it really liked both of those things, too. So.
Great. There were also multiple references to pro wrestling.
I just put that I like pro wrestling and you
ran with it.
don't.
It fucking ran with that.
I love how like there were certain key things that it just latched onto. It's funny.
Yeah. It ran with that.
I'm excited to hear more
Okay.
about the nonsense that it gave to you. Also, I am still reading the Joe Exotic book, one chapter at a time.
It's been months.
It has been months, and I think I'm 9 chapters in.
I just finished the book in 24 hours.
Yeah, I know. You're something else. But I do encourage everyone to go to Joe Exotic's website, because I discovered that the other day, and what a fucking ride. Because they are trying to sell some of the worst merchandise I've ever seen. And my favorite part about the terrible merchandise is that none of it is evenly priced or even with any kind of sense whatsoever. Like, everything's priced like $36.42. And then they're like, that's a t-shirt, but then there's another t-shirt that's $16.91. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. They also give you the address so that you can write Joe Exotic letters while he's in prison, which I am very much considering doing. They also give you outlines on what you can and can't put in the letter, and that it can't be more than 5 pages handwritten, and that he might write you back. So include your address and he will write back to you. There were also places to tell you how to write letters to both Joe Biden and Donald Trump to try to convince them to pardon Joe Exotic. I love this website so much because it is so bananas, and I encourage anyone, especially if you liked this book that we just reviewed, which is also crazy, to go to Joe Exotic's website because it is off the rails.
Okay. Next time.
No more Joe Exotic news. Or maybe there will be. Maybe we'll write him a letter and he'll write back.
Maybe we'll talk about dragons.
Okay.
We're going to talk about when the moon hatched.
We're hatching the moon.
We're hatching the moon.
Right.
Follow us on Facebook and TikTok.
If he dies, he dies.
Bye.